Losing it all. Everything else followed more quietly. At first, I told myself I was only keeping track of the project. I still had copies of old models, public filings, grid reports, procurement notices, enough fragments to recognize where the work was moving, even after they removed my access. I spent hours comparing revised language, contractor names, and changes in funding. Most of it meant nothing by itself. Together, it told me they were still building. I stopped sleeping well. I would wake at 2 a.m. with some small detail turning over in my head, then get up to check it before I forgot. A new subcontractor, a test facility near a military installation, a change in the way they described the system's purpose. None of it proved anything. That didn't stop me from looking. Claire tried to help at first. She would sit across from me while I explained what I thought the company was doing, where the risks were, and why the revised model could fail. She asked questions. She brought food when I forgot to eat. But beneath her words, I could feel the rest of it. Concern at first, quiet hurt she tried to hide, then frustration. I had spent most of my life learning not to react to feelings that weren't mine. Name the facts, follow the pattern, keep my attention on something solid. With Claire, that became harder. Once she closed my computer and told me I'd been staring at the same page for 20 minutes. I opened it again after she went to bed. She said I was disappearing into the problem. I told her the problem wasn't going away just because I stopped looking at it. That was true. It also wasn't an answer. The more she tried to reach me, the less I had to give her. I could explain power distribution, predictive failure, and how one bad assumption could spread through the entire system. I couldn't explain what was happening inside of me. Eventually, she stopped asking. The night she left, there was no shouting, no broken glass. She packed 2 bags while I stood in the kitchen and tried to think of something that would make her stay. Every sentence sounded like an argument, so I said nothing. A few weeks later, I learned she was with Daniel, my closest friend, my former colleague, the man who had taken control of the project after I refused it. I never learned exactly when their relationship began. Before she left? After? Somewhere in between? For a while, that question mattered more than it should have. Then it stopped mattering at all. People made their choices. They chose the safer position, the stronger institution, the person who still had a future that made sense. Maybe that wasn't fair, but it was easier to believe than the alternative. Attorneys called, former co-workers called, a few people offered help or said they knew someone who might be able to help. Even before I answered, I knew what waited on the other end. Curiosity, pity, fear that speaking to me might cost them something. I stopped answering. By then, I wasn't trying to fix anything. I was tired of the disappointing looks and the anger no one could seem to hide. I only wanted to go somewhere no one could reach me.